Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. Welcome again to episode 3 of Rock Stars Stop Wars. And also, it's to do with their kindness and different charities. So, we're going to talk about one of my huge heroes, the one and only, of course, David Bowie, who turned down a knighthood from the Queen. Now, David Bowie did huge amount for various charities such as children's charities, aid relief, poverty, and many, many more charities. I saw David Bowie for the first time in Dublin. Absolutely fantastic. My favourite Bowie song would be probably Ashes to Ashes. I remember when the beautiful Princess Diana was alive and in London. I remember an ex-girlfriend of mine at the time, she was mad about David Bowie as well. And we went to see him on the Glass Spider tour. Now, I didn't particularly enjoy that tour, but I do remember the beautiful Princess Diana. She would have been up in the royal box, not far, maybe 70, 80 metre, beautiful skin with two of her security men. But I saw Bowie many, many times. And he used to be a good friend of Bono's from U2, and he'd stay in Dalkey out in South Dublin where Bono lives. And I remember there was a very good story told. I did say to you, I'm going to tell you about a rock star being kidnapped in Dublin, and it was David Bowie. And it was the great Joe Elliott from Def Leppard, the great northern band from Sheffield. Of course, they still live in Dublin, what Joe Elliott does. Pour Some Sugar on Love, great song. But he was with Bono in the house, and Bono said, I've got somebody, Joe, come on, I want you to introduce you to somebody. And of course, David Bowie was a huge hero to Joe Elliott. And he said to Bono, Jesus, Bono, you could have told me who it was. But anyway, he met David Bowie, and it was the Edge from U2's birthday. Now, Dunleary isn't that far in Dublin, where an awful lot of rock stars live because of tax incentives during the 80s. You'd Spandau Ballet, Spandau Ballet, of course, U2 from Dublin and living in Dublin, one of the biggest bands. But you'd many more, Kate Bush, George Michael for a while. But wasn't it the Edge's birthday from U2? And David Bowie said, come on, we'll go up and wish him well. He was in a restaurant in Dunleary. So, of course, David Bowie, Bono, in a little red Mini with his driver, and Joe Elliott came into the restaurant, and Bowie planted a kiss on the Edge's cheek. And of course, when they came back to the house, his personal assistant Coco was going nuts because she didn't know where David Bowie was. But I saw him many times, died way too young, married a beautiful model of man, died age 69. But what a brilliant, brilliant, iconic guy. And is set on Live Aid, which we'll touch more on because the anniversary, it's important to talk about Live Aid as well. So the song I'm going to give you for this week, as I said, I give a song every week. It's got to be, of course, Heroes. So talk to you next week for episode 4, where we're going to talk about Bono from U2 and U2, of course. So see you next week, everybody. Au revoir.